We go back to the Sutra of the 42 chapters tonight. All right. So let us start by paying respect to our teacher. Namo Ban Shi Shi Jia Mao Ni Fo. Namo Ban Shi Shi Jia Mao Ni Fo. Namo Ban Shi Shi Jia Mao Ni Fo. The opening kata. The Dhamma infinitely profound and subtle is rarely encountered even in a million kalpas. Now we are able to hear, to study, and to practice. May we fully understand and realize the Tathagata's true meaning and teachings. Okay, so how is everybody? You have had a good summer? Very hot, huh? I don't think it's hotter than where I was. Oh, I had a heat stroke the day I arrived to China. I arrived on a Tuesday, the 22nd, from San Francisco, and it was so hot. It was just so hot. It was just too hot. And I think I had a heat stroke that day. Severe headache. I constantly sweating and just, no matter how many times I change my clothes, it's still all wet. Eventually I gave up. But that heat stroke was my second heat stroke in my life. The first one I experienced was when I was in California the second year. I think it's 2006. It was very warm because I was the manager, so I had to go and pick up the students, right? They were napping at 2:30, right? So I had to run to the residence, and in California, this residence is like from here to the house. And under the sun, you run and you walk and you run and you walk and down the hill and up the hill, right? So during that sit, I had that severe headache. I thought, geez, what's that? And I suddenly realized that I must have a heat stroke. So this time I had the same experience, and I know there was a heat stroke. I took a really cold shower and allowed this body heat to dissipate. But I tell you, it was too much heat to deal with. And of course, the students had a lot of heat, right? With 100 students and 20 servers, 120 people in the hall, constantly, build up so much heat. Together with the heat of Sankara, that's double the heat, right? So that was and I kept telling myself, I'm not coming back here in the summer. I'm not coming back here in the summer. But yeah, it was a good course overall. Oh, I should have show you some of the pictures of the future Buddha. I forgot. Yeah, and the carving.
You went and visited.
Yeah. How can I do that? No, I can't. Yeah, I went to look at the Buddha, and they are doing the clay mud model now. They are doing the model now. So after this model is done, then they will do a carving. So it was very nice. I will see whether I can actually send a couple of the pictures to email them. Maybe we can look at it after that. Okay, so we go back to so that was it. Then I went to Hong Kong, stay for a few days because there is this calligraphy exhibition of Yang Sifu's um, um, art pieces on Saturday. So I came home on Sunday night. It seems that I have gone for a long, long time this time. I have, haven't I?
Yes.
Almost a month, yeah. But it seems that I've gone for way so long. And it was such a big relief to have come home. Wonderful. Close. Let us finish. Wonderful. Gosh. See? It's about time to go to bed. Never mind. Okay, let's go. the Sutra of the 42 chapters. Now we are on chapter 13. Wow, wonderful. The following chapters are pretty short. Okay, in this chapter, what did he say is a Shramana asked the Buddha, you know what is a Shramana, right? A practitioner. In the old days, it's called Shramana. And then he asked, what enables one to know the past lives and to attain the supreme way? And the Buddha replied, the Buddha said, by purifying your mind with unwavering resolve, you will attain the supreme way. It is like polishing a mirror. When you remove the impurities, brightness is revealed. By eradicating desires and seeking nothing, you will gain knowledge of past lives. So we know that to know the past lives is just an ability, we call it a supernatural power. So there are actually six types of supernatural powers according to the Buddha's teachings. Okay, I think we have touched on that before. Let me give you a sort of a rough recap. The first one is Advaita, the power of transformation. And this is the power of performing miracles. And certain people can transform themselves from a single entity to multiple entities, and from an infinite entities to become one again. Or they can go through fire, and they can go through water, and they can travel through space with ease. So it is actually a magical power to exemplify the body, to exempt the body from physical limitations. I don't know whether you remember a story from the Dhammapada. One time, King Asoka was offering a big offering to a whole group of bhikkhus. But there was a Sramanara, that means a novice monk, who only has received 10 precepts. And because the King Asoka was very respectful respected Sangha a lot. So he was supposed to pay respect to all the bhikkhus, right? But this is a novice monk. And King Asoka thought, I'm a king. I really should not pay respect to him. But I have made promise that I will pay respect to all the Sangha member monastics. So he invited the Sramanara to a little sitting room, a side room, and say, okay, now I pay respect to you. So he paid respect to this novice monk. Okay, after that, he said to the novice monk, please, now I pay respect to you. Please, when you go back to the monastics, to the group of monastics, don't tell anybody, all right? And this novice monk, he said, okay. Then this novice monk played his magic, used his supernatural power. He became so big. And then he became so small. And in India, they have little jars like with a long neck and a long mouthpiece, and then a big belly for them to wash, right? They get water and then dump it from the head. So this novice monk became so big and so small again, and he went into this flask, this big flask, this small flask with a very narrow opening. And then he came out again, going to the sky with flames and fire. And then he came back to become very small. He was playing a lot of magic, supernatural power. Eventually became him again. And then he told King Asoka, he said, King, please, when you go out, don't tell anybody about this, all right? So actually this tells you some supernatural power that some people can have that actually transcend through these physical limitations, right? So it's like I mean, you ask yourself to walk through this glass door. You break your head, you break your face, right? Because we don't have that. But people who have that can really play tricks. They can just walk through. All right. So this is the first supernatural power. And then the second supernatural power is the power of the hearing. Now we hear, okay, using microphone, using amplifier. If it's not loud enough, we put up more speakers, make sure that it's covered all the ground. We don't have that supernatural power. But once, but once, I think it was Mahamoggallana, and he wanted to test how far the Buddha's teachings, when the Buddha taught, how far his sound can travel. I think it was Mahamoggallana. Mahamoggallana traveled to another space beyond this human existence, and he could still hear the Buddha's voice over there. You see, there's no limitations when somebody has that. And also, now I speak English. Sometimes I speak Cantonese. Sometimes I speak Mandarin. Okay, my brother speaks 6 languages: German, Dutch, French, maybe Austrian, I don't know. So people think that he's so bright, brilliant. But I tell you, the Buddha is even more brilliant. He can just speak in one language, but people with different languages would understand him. So we call that he speak with just one tone, or one tone, or one voice, or one whatever, just one. But all beings with different languages will understand him. So you can see how unlimited his ability is with this. And and he can hear precisely, he can hear whatever, wherever, he can hear anything. All right. So this is the second supernatural power. And the third one is the power of knowing others' mind. That means when I look at you, I read your mind. I know what's on your mind, or what's on her mind, or even what's on the dog's mind. Okay, that would be great, wouldn't it? Only if the people's on the if you read people's mind and they are having some nice and wholesome thoughts, then that would be nice. If they say I hate you, then that won't be very nice. So this is the ability to know precisely what others are thinking. And we often say that you don't understand me. But when people possess this power, this power can see the good one, they could see the unwholesome ones in one's mind. It's as if like looking through the mirror. And at that time, you totally actually understand what's going on in that person's mind, right? But a lot of people think, oh, no matter how hard I try to explain to you, you don't understand, because we cannot read your mind, so we don't understand, and we haven't experienced what you have experienced. How can we understand, right? But for people with this supernatural power, they don't even know. They don't even have to, experience what you experience. They know what's going on in your mind. And I think sometimes it's quite sad to have this ability. Is sometimes it really hurts you to know what's going on in others' mind. I had a student who came to me during this 10-day course, and she said, it seems that I'm poking into people's private life, because when I sit at home, all of a sudden I knew what's going on in their family, and sometimes I call them, and it really was happening what she had thought about. And she said, I feel so bad because I'm poking into their private life. I said, no, you're not intentionally poking into their private life, because I mean that is your own ability. But yeah, it could be sad, it could be disturbing sometimes. But I told her, you don't allow that to hurt you. but you don't try intentionally to try to find out more about that ability. You don't try to develop the ability. Eventually, the ability will start to, diminish, or you don't pay too much attention to it anymore. Okay, it happens. Okay, so and the fourth one is the power of knowing the previous existence. That means to know the past lives. Do we all know our past lives? Yes, to a certain extent we do, especially when we were little, when we were very, very little, when we were like a child, like up to 2, 3 years old. And after that, the life becomes so hectic. And we are so much bombarded with all these knowledges that our parents impose onto us. And they want you to go and learn piano, they want you to learn and this and that and that. And it actually just cover up that space, that space of knowing. And so we do know. And we can remember our past lives and events quite easily if our mind is calm and concentrated. And 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 I remember what I read from this book is in the Buddha's word is when the Buddha actually attained his enlightenment, he said, "Oh, I saw my last life. I saw my last 2 lives, and I saw my last 3 lives and many, many lives before. And I also saw the lives of many, many others in his meditation." So it's possible this can be cultivated, right? Maria, you want to say something?
I was going to say about um, what you said about children knowing up until they're either 3, 4 years old. Some of the reason why they also suppress that is because,
It's not the norm.
well, yeah, parents, when they do speak of it, parents don't pay attention as well.
Or parents think that they're going nuts here,
Yeah,
crazy.
so they kind of suppress what they're doing.
Yeah. So if you read some books on past life experience, Ian Stevenson, he actually did a lot of research on this, and he had I think about 200 children remembering their past lives and then found evidence of their own past lives.
There's one story that I remember very clearly, and that was a young fellow was having horrible time sleeping at night. He was having incredible nightmares about being in a plane crashing. It was actually a World War II pilot.
Yeah, yeah.
And
He remember,
yeah,
yeah,
his parents took him to
the
the
museum.
veterans, and
Yeah.
he knew who all the veterans were, not by name, but by their nicknames that they were called.
Oh, the
He
nicknames,
recognized
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, I remember that one. And he actually got close to a Second World War plane, and he know where all the
And
gadgets were.
they actually had a service
Yeah.
where the plane went.
Oh,
He was okay after that.
yeah. So you see all these past memories. Yeah. And he even remembered his own name. Yeah. So yeah, this is powerful. I mean, sometimes when you meditate, you saw some other different faces in your meditation, but you immediately know that that is you yourself in your past life. You don't have people ask, how can you know? You don't have to tell. Nobody need to tell you. That's me. And all of a sudden it's gone. All right. So okay, the fifth one is the power of vision. And now we use glasses, we use contact lenses. We see bigger objects with our eyes, and we look at smaller objects with microscope or even nano microscopes. But with this power of eyes, you see through walls, you see through anything, you see through into the space. That's why some people can see ghosts. Some people can see ghosts. That is one kind of ability, a power of seeing, the vision. Okay, so we don't need to use glasses. We don't need to use microscope with this ability. And then the last one is the power of eradicating all the defilements. And this is actually the ultimate, the most important supernatural power, or not the ultimate supernatural power, that actually supersede the last fifth, the last five. The in this the those people who actually have this power will no longer suffer from their own afflictions. They are totally free. Okay, free from this rebirth, free from the samsara. And these previous, the first five are not just unique to Buddhist practitioners. Ghosts, demons, gods, and fairies, they could all possess any one of these five abilities. But the last one, the sixth one, is only unique to Buddhist practitioners, to those who actually walk on the path, and to those who actually eventually attain enlightenment. That's the ultimate power that one's actually achieved after eradicating all the defilements. And this can only be attained by saints like arahats or the Buddha. Okay. And then there is another way, there is another way to categorize or to actually understand how this magic or magical power can be developed. And one is to develop this magical power through cultivation of the path, cultivation of the middle way, and is attained without any intention to achieve, to get this power, or without any thinking of I want to be, magical. I want to play magic. No, these are attained through cultivation on the path. And in this categorization, it says that these people actually knows everything in the worldly phenomena, in the worldly existing phenomena, and these people would be totally liberated and free from the cycles of rebirth. Okay, and then the second magical power is by meditation, and we all know that when we meditate, we become so concentrated, so calm, and so still that it is like the mind is just like a very, very clear top surface of the lake, and it reflects everything, and it allows you to actually see through into the deeper part of the mind. And because it's so concentrated, okay, the mind is so concentrated. So this magical power is cultivated through meditation, and also like in the four jhana states, the really deep samadhi states, and the eight mental concentration levels. And at those levels, at those states, you can actually achieve that magical power. And then the third one is magic through the spells, like magical power through the spells is more more so for witches. And do you think that witches actually exist in the world?
Yes.
You do believe that? Oh, I'm surprised to hear that. I thought it's only true in the East. No?
Victoria Island is known to be the sort of capital of
Victoria Island here?
Victoria.
Oh, better don't move there then.
It depends on what your definition of witches are.
So what is your definition of a witch?
Witches to me are very earthy practitioners. And again, it runs the whole realm. There can be bad witches as well as good witches.
Yeah.
not necessarily evil,
Yeah.
but dispels the potion, the manipulation of that
A lot of them
energy.
are herbalists and really work with nature and
But you see, the magical power developed by this is the one which is mostly abused. Power. Yeah. And people make money. using this. Yeah, they do. I have known a witch actually use this to make big money down in the States. She knows everything. She does. I mean,
It's like a fortune teller.
not really. A fortune teller is a part of like this. Yeah, yeah. But um, she can actually things, perform things. Yeah. So yeah, is that this ah learn a new thing a day. But you see, in the east, like Malaysia, um, I don't know but what about Thailand? Thailand, do they have Lok Gong Tower? Thailand too, huh? Thailand and Malaysia, they have something they actually they curse you, and the curse could become true. And no matter where you are, the curse still valid and still work. I have somebody called me up in Richmond a few months ago, and she said she got a curse through a spell through somebody like this. I said, no, it's impossible. It's impossible. Then eventually I asked for some validation from a friend, and he checked her out, and he said, yes, she has been cursed, and there's nothing that you can do except the one who laid the curse on her remove the curse. So it's actually one has to be very careful when one travel through those areas. um, you know like in the old days, who was that disciple? um, can't remember the name. Anyway, he traveled through, trying to get alms, and then this witch fall in love with him and lay a curse on him. Okay, wanted to get him as a husband, but good thing this monk has a very strong mind to practice, and the curse didn't affect him. But for us, a very weak human mind and very weak samadhi and very weak awareness, we have to be extra careful. Okay, in order to protect ourselves. And magic as the result of karma. And you would think, what is this? Magic as a result of karma. We have different karma. We are men. We are mankind. We have the karma to walk on land with two legs. So that's the magic of us. But the birds have magic too. The birds have two wings. They fly. We cannot fly. So that is some magical power because of karma. Okay. And do you call that magical power? I think so. We cannot fly. To us, the birds have that magical power, power to fly, and the raccoons, they have magical power to climb the trees so fast, right? And and what else? To dig a hole, right? So we don't have that, but we do have that magical power to walk on 2 feet, where a lot of animals cannot have. Okay, so that's the magical power as a result of karma. So another way of categorizing the magical power is the magical power developed because of spirits. Like people say that there are spirits, not necessarily ghosts, but spirits. Like in the trees, big trees, you can feel that there are spirits, right? You look at the tree, it looks very different from a normal tree, especially in those really old forests. We went to these two forests last year and the year before in California, in Yosemite. Those big trees, I looked at it. Wow! I said there are a lot of, you know, god and goddesses, tree god and goddesses there. They look very different, and they the old ancient teachings always say these spirits, they can absorb cosmic energies. So they be from the earth, from the heavens, from the skies, everywhere. And they can manifest themselves eventually when they become very, very old spirits. They can manifest themselves as human forms and trick people. But this is true. Why? My great grand master, who died at 120, once he there was an old, I think it was an old man, old monk, in staying with them in the monastery, and he was very sick, and then he died. Before he died, the grandmaster went to see him, and he told the grandmaster, I am I am the spirit of the wolf, and I died many years ago at the back of this mountain. Can you go and do some blessing for me? And then he died. So the great grandmaster went to the back of the mountain and really found this wolf. And wolf 係狼嗬，狐狸係咩咧嗬？狐狸係咩 Fox, not wolf. Fox. Yeah. It was a fox, not wolf. Wolf is different. It was a fox. And he found the body of the fox. So he actually blessed him and buried him. So, the fox can actually appear as a human being when the spirit of the fox became so old and so ancient. So you see, we human beings are really not very, very strong, and we are not very super. We are actually very, very, how can we say, not very fast, very smart. But we think that we are so smart, smarter than everybody else. We are smart in a sense, but not that smart as we think we are. Okay, so to know the past lives, we actually have to understand. In this whole sutra, it said, how can I know my past lives? The Buddha actually did not reply him, because to know our past life, our present life, our future life, all depends on this cause of the law of causation. Whatever cause that we have will have whatever effects, but the outcome of the effects depend a lot on the conditions which affect them, right? For us, having such a very normal, mundane life, we definitely have a lot of normal, mundane causes in the past that actually bring such a normal and mundane present life. But we have to constantly remind ourselves it's not just one past life and one future life. It's actually many, many, many past lives, but one present life and many, many, many future lives. So the life now actually is the result of many, many past causes with the many, many conditions that bring about this one life right now. But the future lives, the future lives actually depends on this life plus many, many future conditions that make the future lives to be whatever it is. Okay? So if you say that to know the past lives can help you, it cannot help you, because it depends on the conditions. And to know the past lives, it cannot help you with this present life. But a lot of people think that, oh, I go and read my palms, I'm going to read my face, I'm going to get some fortune teller to tell me what my past life is and why do we have such a grudge in between us, so that I could resolve that grudge. Not necessarily. Okay, so I always tell people, it's no need to go and know about your past lives, but it's very important to know what you can do this lifetime. Okay, because the whole goal of practice and cultivation is not to have this ability to know about the past lives. Knowing the past life, so what? What can you do? Can you grab them back from the grave and say, hello, I'm sorry? All right, you can, right? So because in the Buddhist teachings is that it's not fate orientated, right? You say, oh well, this is what my past lives, and then this is definitely my present life. Then no, this then is all fate, but it's not fate because conditions are constantly changing. So our future lives is constantly could be changing, right? Depends on how well we can actually utilize the conditions that actually are there right in front of us. So without the conditions, there will not be this, without certain conditions, there will not be this effect. So this is not just a one lifetime thing, it's actually many lifetimes things. For example, there are actually many conditions that actually affect the effects. We call, okay, if you plant a cantaloupe, you get cantaloupe. But nowadays it's very different. There are genetic engineering. So you have what? You have a cantaloupe plus watermelon. You have, oh, the simple thing is the red orange, the bloody orange. Where does bloody orange come from? Definitely mixed with grapefruit and oranges to produce a bloody orange. That is already out of this one cause and effect, simple cause and effect. They actually manipulated a lot of conditions to produce whatever effect that they want. So the karma is different already. You see, there is a straightforward karma, is this cause and effect. Okay? But there is another kind of karma is already like engineered. I've seen a clip on Facebook on Parkinson's, how they deal with Parkinson's now, Parkinson's disease with tremendous tremor, and they put a probe into the brain, so they stimulate the brain, a certain part of the brain, and you can see the gentleman stopped right away with the tremor. You see, this is engineered. This is advanced medical technology, which is engineered, which has changed our karma right there. You understand? So it's a very complicated and complex scenario right now in this world. Everything is actually changing. And this is one of the conditioning thing, is one of the conditions that will affect the outcome, the effect. It's so interesting to see how human being will evolve in the future. In the future, I would love to see it, maybe in my next life. So now with just simple like a cause and effect, we can guess, we can estimate, we can calculate the result, the outcome. But now the outcome is very unpredictable, right? And so this unpredictable outcome, how are we going to deal with it now? We can't do anything. I mean, even with remember that the rocket that they were going to fire last week, they just like exploded before they even started to actually allow it to fire. So they can predict, they can calculate, they can try to make it work. But eventually, whether it works or not, it depends on the conditions that affect it. Okay? So now we know that there are actually this law of causation will bring our karma, individual karma, like cantaloupe seed with these kind of conditions will give you a cantaloupe. Okay, this is individual karma. What about the collective karma? Collective karma is like in the field of a cantaloupe, some are so small, some are so big, some are perfect, but some are cracked. So that is the individual karma within the collective karma. Okay, they get the same conditions, almost the same. We think it's the same, right? But maybe when we spread the manure, we spread more here, we spread less there. The soil is more clay here, less clay there. Or when it rains, the rain more here, less here. So it's all these, differences. And the one thing to look at collective karma is in the middle of a disaster, like a tsunami or earthquake. Why would somebody be killed? Why would somebody be survived in the same place, maybe in the same building? Why? Because it's individual karma within a collective karma. Okay, so in order to know our past lives, it's not going to help us in the future for the future lives. So the collective karma is those what do you call this? This one thing drops, everything. A dominoes effect. Yeah, domino effect. So it's this collective karma is just like this. Okay, within the whole pool of thing, and one thing changes, and the whole thing changes. Okay, so to know the past lives is it important. That's why the Buddha said, by purifying your mind with unwavering resolve, you will attain the supreme way. It is like polishing a mirror. When you remove the impurities, brightness is revealed. The Buddha himself, answering how to attain the ability to know the past lives, instead he replied in this way. He said, by purifying your mind, it's just like cleaning up the mirror. And the impurities on the mirror is the dust on the mirror is an analogy to the desires, the lust, the craving, the anger, the animosity, and the afflictions, everything. Okay. And he said, when the mirror is clean, the brightness will reveal, and what is in front of the mirror, you will be able to see clearly. And by eradicating desires and seeking nothing, you will gain knowledge of the past life. It all comes naturally because we all experiences that in the way of meditation. When the mind is settled and cleansed, we see ourselves in there. And so it's, and that because when the impurities are removed, when brightness is revealed, you start to see the universe clearly the way it is, not the way you are, not the way you're actually seeing it, but the way it is. And you don't have to intentionally seek the ability to know the past lives. You naturally get it. Okay? So on the night of enlightenment, the Buddha said, maybe I'll read this later on. And he said, by eradicating desires and seeking nothing, you'll gain knowledge of past lives. And on the night of enlightenment, if you've got this book, it's on page 65. 65 is on the paragraph of 38. And he said, when my mind was thus concentrated, purified, bright, unblemished, rid of imperfection, malleable, worldly, steady, and attained to imperturbability. You see, this is all clear and clean and steady and concentrated. Very, very steady and strong samadhi. I directed it to the knowledge of recollection of past life. I recollected my manifold past lives. And he said, that is one birth, two births, three births, four births, five births, and so on and so on. 100 births, 1,000 births, 100,000 births, many eons of world contraction, many eons of world expansion, many eons of world contraction and expansion. That means through space. Okay? And there I was so named of such a clan with such an appearance. Such was my nutriment, such my experience of pleasure. And then I was reborn elsewhere, and there too I was so named of such a clan with such an appearance. Such was my nutriment, such my experience of pleasure and pain. That means every time he take on a birth, he was born into a new clan with such a name. If you have read the books by Dr. Brian Weiss, he wrote the most famous book called Many Lives, Many Masters. And the third book or the fourth book he wrote is One Body, One Mind, Many Bodies, I think, something like that. So that mind actually repeatedly take on rebirth. So just like what the Buddha said, but by an updated new scientist, a medical practitioner, a physicians, clinical psychologist. So, and then he said, I directed this knowledge, and this was the first knowledge. And he said, this is my first knowledge I attained in the first watch of night. And he said, ignorance was banished. Ignorance was banished, and true knowledge arose. Darkness was banished, and light arose, as happens in one who dwells diligent, ardent, and resolute. But such pleasant feeling that arose in me did not invade my mind and remain. That's very important. The last sentence in this paragraph is, but such pleasant feeling that arose in me did not invade my mind and remain. A lot of times we are so weak when we experience this kind of pleasant feeling, we allow our mind to attach to it. We allow our mind to dwell in it. And when it disappears, we allow ourselves to run after that kind of pleasant feeling. And that's why the Buddha said, one has to be what? Concentrated, bright, malleable, willing, and also ardent, who dwells diligent, ardent, and resolute. So those are the qualities that we have to develop. We are actually very weak-minded people. We are very weak-minded people. And we are actually have a very, very strong laziness in us. And by what the Buddha said, diligent and ardent is actually throughout the day. That's why he said, if a practitioner who practice days in and days out, they can attain the fruit within 7 days. Yeah. But we have been on earth almost 70 years and we're still far away from that fruit because we have too much laziness and our mind is too loose. We are not ardent and diligent enough. And sometimes when you practice ardently and diligently, and people say, do you need to be so ardent and diligent? And you think, yeah, I don't need to be so ardent and diligent, and let me go and have some fun, right? So that's the point. So this is chapter 13. It's interesting chapter, very interesting chapter. And remember, the Buddha said, the supernatural powers is not important. It's where actually how you cultivated your mind and how your mind is after cultivation is more important, because the supernatural powers will naturally come. And it's not even to boast about your supernatural power, even though one has it. Okay. All right. I remember one time I asked my Sifu, I said, Sifu, I wanted to ask you something, because everybody said that you have this supernatural power, and you know what we are, what we are thinking, is what is on our mind. And I said, do you have it? And he looked at me and he smiled. No, I don't have any. I only have the sixth sense. I only have some sixth sense. And I said, oh, that is not supernatural power. At that time, I thought that was not supernatural power. Now I know that is supernatural power. The sixth sense is also a supernatural power. And I know where that sixth sense come from right now. This is the sixth natural power, supernatural powers, right? But it's just 1/6 It's 1/6 of those 6 supernatural powers. And those 1/6 is actually not the most important one. And it's actually not the most useful one. It's the last one, the ultimate one, the supernatural power of being able to eradicate our afflictions and be free from our samsara is the most important supernatural power. And we all will get it when we become enlightened. So don't worry. You'll be a supernatural power person eventually. If you ardently practice, diligently walk on the path, and
See you next week.
yeah, see you next week. All right. So coming up, there's this half-day Vipassana group sit on this Sunday. Anybody who has set a 10-day Vipassana course are welcome to come. 9:30 to 12:30, 3 hours. 25th is a work day, and October 30th, there is this Polam CCH choir concert, okay, in Vancouver. And November 2nd and the 3rd, there is at SFU, the End of Life Conference. Everybody is welcome to join. Yeah,
I was gonna ask.
I think so. You have to register.
Yeah, if you go, the Polam Facebook page, I think a couple of weeks ago, we posted a link to their site, actually, their website.
Yeah, I will be speaking. Over there. So please come and support me. I think I'm speaking on November 2nd, right? Yeah. The role of mindfulness.
Yeah, and you're in the practitioners panel, so there's 3 practitioners.
Yeah. What is my topic? The role of mindfulness at end of life care. It's interesting. I think this is a very rare topic that's been touched. So I'm going to share some experiences of some of the cases that I have seen, teaching them mindfulness, how they deal with it.
Where's that?
Simon Fraser University in
Downtown.
downtown Vancouver. Yeah. Okay. But there is another one back in East, in Toronto in October. I don't want to invite you. I could invite you. You could fly out with me. It's in October 14th to 17th. It's also an end of life care. And then I'll be teaching I'll be giving a public talk in Toronto on end of life care and the Buddhist view on end of life care in Chinese though. But this one and the Toronto one is in English. Okay. And then December 4th, we will have a first memorial for Young Sifu. We are thinking of doing it at CCC because I think this is too small. Probably quite a few people would come. We are still trying to plan for this, and yeah, 1 year almost. Huh? So fast, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So be happy. Thank you.
Sorry, I emailed you those 4 pictures of the statue.
Email the statues.
I just emailed you.
Oh, you just
those
email.
4
Oh, okay.
pictures.
Okay, you want to see those pictures? Yeah, that would be fun to see those pictures. Okay. No privacy. There's no privacy here. Never mind. Pictures. See if we can see it. Ever. Here. Can we download everything all together? Or it's one by one? Oh, one by one? Can you see?
It's gonna be quite big.
Yes, 2.9 meters. Just the body. Okay. I want you to see this one first. This is the painting. This is the drawing by one of the artists in Hong Kong. And this is the template that actually they based on it. All right. So he actually put it up onto the wall. This is the real 1-to-1 scale. Okay. But the painting actually comes out to, I mean, the statue comes out to be much different. This is the factory. Okay. And so you see the statue is 2.9 meters, and you see the platform is 2.9, 2.7, no, 2.6, So altogether it's 4.5, 4.5. Yeah. So it's almost the height of what we planned. I'm going to lower it a little bit. The Buddha will not be sitting on high platform like this. He will be sitting on block of woods, and I won't have any like high tables like this. You will see the Buddha, and when we need to like put incense, we'll put a table there, and when we want to decorate, we put tables there. So it won't be like this static table. It will be just one Buddha, and this is the Sakyamuni Buddha. I think it will resonate with people in the West more than a Ksitigapa Buddha, because this is our fundamental teacher. That's why I wanted to make this. Look at this. Yeah, this is the clay and the mud. Okay, so
Is it going to be cast? You call it a carving?
a carve. No, it's going to be carved out with wood, in wood, Kuimuk is, I think it's sequoia, yellow sequoia, yellow sequoia. Okay, and it costs 1.8 million renminbi. 1.8. How much is the renminbi now? $300,000. But this is going to last for 100 years. I think with this building like costing like 12 millions, we need to have a $300,000 Buddha statue there, because it's going to last for ages. Okay, and this, I think the Buddha's teachings will just flourish from here. This is how I feel. And I mean, looking at this, it's very different from the drawing, isn't it? It's actually very different from. Let's see. Can we put two pictures on the same? You see, it's actually very different from the paintings. I think we can put them side by side.
I think in the painting, the face is just
Too round.
rounder.
Yeah,
It's
too
just
round.
more nice, just-
And this is actually, you see why I wanted an ancient look of the Buddha. This is called the really ancient, like in the first I can't remember the English word for this era. It's more like an Afghanistan Indian look, and yeah, so he will have simple ropes, like this ropes, simple rope like this, rather than fancy ropes like ours. And he will have a hairline like trickly hairline down like this. In the old days, that's what their hairstyle like. And these rays at the back, the head rays and the body ray, aura, you call it aura, will be plain. I want a really plain aura, round aura, made by wood, plain, no fancy patterns like this. And then there won't be like petals of lotus flowers like this. I took away the lotus flowers because lotus flowers too Chinese. And in the old days, the Indian style, there is no lotus flowers. So it's almost like just like this. It's almost just like this, okay, without this fancy stuff and without the lotus flowers. And it's sitting on simple wood. The wood will have some carvings, simple, maybe clouds. This is too round. The face is too round, and the eyes are okay, but the face is too round and too short. So I like this more.
I do too.
Right? Yeah. This is much. Can you see this man was putting blob of clay on him and then just hit it hard so that it stays there. So you can see when you compare, right? When you compare the height, you see he's standing on the platform. He's just like maybe less than half of his height. So maybe 2.5 men for 12 feet almost. So exciting, eh? This Buddha will go on the basement, on the ground floor. Yeah. He will still stay. Or he will stay here. I'm thinking of not converting this back into a garage. I'm keeping it as a small meditation hall. So he probably will stay here. Yeah. I think he's better to stay here. he looks so, so calm and so peaceful here.
I think this would be a perfect spot for if there's courses being held here that.
For outside meditators like you guys. Yeah.
are not part of the
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. So I want to keep the garage the way it is, and maybe we will build another garage somewhere.
I think that's
Yeah, isn't it nice?
just in its simplicity.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna ask him to keep the statue this color. I think this color is way better than just the yellow sequoia, yellow cedar. Not sequoia, yellow cedar. Because yellow cedar is too yellow. It's just like this color. No, I think I want him to actually paint this color, but with this natural wood lines. Yeah.
He'll just stain it.
Yeah, he stained it. Yeah. I'm going to see it again at the end of November when I go again. So that will be like almost the final stage of this 1-to-1 scale model done. Yeah. Interesting. Nice, hey? You are the first one to see it. Hey!
Whereabouts are they doing?
Huh?
Whereabouts are they doing?
In Fujian is Fujian where I teach meditation. Quite close to where I teach meditation in Fujian, in the same province in China. Yeah, we took a train 4 hours, 4 hours train to get there. Yeah, yeah. Yes.
I'm just curious, like, that's very high. That's gonna fit right in a container?
No, they come in pieces. They come in pieces, and then they assemble them, except the head. Except the head.
Well, no, I'm thinking of the container itself.
Yeah, but they come in pieces. You see, the body that come in pieces, many pieces. So the people have to come and assemble them. Yeah, the workers have to come and assemble them. It would be a big masterpiece when they come and assemble them. Hopefully by the end of next year. See how much time he needs to actually allow the wood to dry. He said the longer the better. So I'm pushing him towards the end of next year or the beginning of the year after. So it so isn't it nice? Yeah. So if you see other Buddha statues in the same place, you see this is very different. He's so grounded. He's so calm and strong, and everybody working with him is so like lovely and smiling. Yeah, good, great. We end with this wonderful Buddha, Poland's Buddha. Okay, we dedicate our merits. We bring our attention back to the body, knowing this constant changes that's happening moment to moment, moment by moment. At this time, we allow this good thought to arise on our mind. For all the benefits that I gather by hearing the words of the Buddha, studying them, understanding them, may I share all the benefits with all beings, human, non-human, visible, invisible, big or small, far or near. May they be free of enmity. May they be free of miseries. May they start to live in the world with brightness, warmth, and experience love and peace. May more and more people will encounter the words of the Buddha to study, to practice, to experience, so that they develop the strength to help themselves, to liberate themselves from their own difficulties, dissatisfactions, sufferings, and miseries, and be happy and be peaceful. Good. See you next week. Yeah. See you.